Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today is Monday, December 17th. Want to show you some of the results and talk about some of the what's going on with the results of this minute by minute trading strategy. First of all, this has been written in 3 days with a lot of remnants from different components of the various strategies I've been working on for the last year. It's fairly stable. There is a tough market out there, I'm not going to lie. Just show you an example here. So here are the top 20 movers in the crypto space. You can see the highest is 0.61% over a hourly change. I think overnight there were some good trades that took place, so only a very small selection are just barely profitable. So the number of positions is very small. They are high risk because the whipsaws are pretty well frequent. Here's the 24-hour movers for the last number of days, or sorry, 24 hours. So it's on a 24-hour basis, it looks good, but over the last more recent time, it's not so good. So here is a position manager. I'll show you that in better detail. Here in the Redis desktop manager, that's where I track all my data. You can see here we have 13 on the watch list. These are the same culprits day in and day out since, let's say, Thursday, since I've been tracking this. What you'll find here is that these are pairs. The number of pairs is small on the watch list. I've used to be able to get up to 70, which would crash the system here overnight. I purposely kept it at either 5 if there's in a very high profitable moving market. Just for performance on this laptop, I will be getting a new server in the next week or so, a couple of days actually. Get that set up so we can expand the analysis. Not only on top of that, what I will tell you, Friday, Saturday, a lot of the private coins were the movers. So these were the movers. In order to get on this watch list, you have to have a very strong, consistent momentum. If there's whipsaws, it will get immediately removed. Actually, it gets removed before I even do the test. So the first thing I test for is momentum over a very short period of time, like an hourly. I can't remember the exact time, but if it's not able to maintain that momentum over the hour, it just gets ignored and will be removed from the list. So very few coins are able to maintain that momentum. Now here is the P&L that has taken place over the last 12 hours. Now these are 4 positions that meet very stringent technical indicator criteria in order to be passed as a position and to be able to obviously be profitable. After that, I have no control. So 4 positions did make it. Neo, this is one I've been watching a lot. This one can do quite well, but I'm not sure if you looked at the chart if it's manipulated or not. I've shown that. XMR is an interesting one. This has been pretty well consistent since Thursday. What I will show you is in the actual data here, I do track the P&L of the original price that when the position was put on, and the rate of change percent-wise to give you an idea, like what are we talking in terms of percent. So this is only 0.09%. As I said, I do believe that comes back to this market being so negative, like very negative and beaten down, and in order to get profit, you're eking out profits. That's what you're seeing here. I like to use rate of change percent because that's a better reality for me to see how the thing is performing overall versus a hard target that I've seen other people use in terms of profit. XMR is another really good. So I just showed you NEO. Here's the rate of change, very tiny. XMR again, pretty well tiny. But this is consistent. Like if it meets all the criteria, it can do okay. Dash is always out there. This one does really well. The two that really do well, and there's actually a third, are the private coins, Monero, Dash, and Zcash. Zcash can do well too, but it really comes down to timing, so that if you do put on a position in this type of environment, it can go against you, and it will go against you, and it hurts performance. So I've readjusted or tweaked my strategy to be very stringent on when to take on an entry. Litecoin, this one's the only, one of them was a loser. Let me just see here. Yes, Litecoin was another loser, tiny loser here. So basically, before I started tweaking yesterday on Sunday, I was getting about a 70% win ratio, which is really high. Here we're able to maintain it, but the number of positions that are taken on are much lower. So I need to figure out what I'm willing to risk. Do I risk and allow the system to trade with looser trading conditions and criteria so that I can potentially get more profit, but I'm putting on way more positions, which obviously increases a much higher probability of having losing positions. And what I noticed with the losing positions, they can lose pretty big. But again, that is not in my control because I can control to a certain point, but it's the whipsaws that really kill me, and nobody can control whipsaws at all. But I have been able to find ways to minimize those whipsaws immensely. But again, the cost of that is then I reduce the number of positions I take on, again, and then that takes away the risk, which means less opportunity for that risk. And that's just part of the game of trading in a pretty extreme or extremely volatile market. Now, one other thing I need to mention is, in order to control the number of positions I put on, I can tell you something like Dash or Litecoin, I would get many trading positions put on that would be duplicate of Litecoin against Ethereum in this case, or Dash against Ethereum. I right now only allow the system to take on one pair at a time. So meaning when you have a position that's opened up for a particular crypto pair, the system will not allow other pairs that are of the same combo or cross to be put on. It only allows one pair at a time. But when I go through my watch list log, I see numerous attempts of the system to put on those trades because it keeps meeting the same conditions for entries. But right now I'm holding off. So I may change that, because if chances are I'm at it right now, it's very low volume, but if I'm able to, in this case, maintain a 75% win ratio, but allow the system to take on other positions of the same cross, namely, let's say Litecoin or Dash, and allow further positions to be put on of that cross, will I make more money? But it's just for only a select number of pairs. And that, again, I don't control. That's just the trading conditions at that time in the cryptocurrency asset class space. One thing I want to bring to your attention as well is here in the values, what you'll notice here is I maintain momentum. I track the last set of momentum candles, call them minute candles. And what I'm looking for is to show you, and myself actually, that we have numerous positive candles, and then all of a sudden it starts to drop off and go negative. I maintain that in my position log so I know what's going on. If I looked at a chart and I could have the system take a snapshot at that time of a minute chart to see what's going on, but I can clearly tell you the pattern is this. Somewhere in this time frame, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 11 minutes of volume going positive and very, very, very strong momentum. And what happens is, this is the spurts that I'm looking for, is right here, is it goes negative once we get a little bit of positive momentum over, in this case, an 11-minute time frame, where it gets very choppy, and then all of a sudden there's a trading condition to come along and will greatly increase the momentum of that coin or pair at that time. Same here when you look at Dash. I do the exact same thing. Many people may not do this, but I do, and it clearly shows what's going on. Here we have more downward momentum, and this is after the fact it takes on a position. Again, I got to do further analysis of this, and I will also say that each coin definitely has its own trading pattern. It's like if, for example, you don't see Zcoin or Zcash here, the conditions for the entry are met, but the problem is that for whatever reason, that pattern of that coin combo, it gets manipulated. I don't know if I don't think it's manipulated. It could be manipulated. But like I said, I think Neo is manipulated. But Dash, or sorry, Zcoin, it can move up, but it's very volatile. It's actually, the word I should say is unpredictable. So Zcash doesn't meet those conditions, and I'm trying to reduce that risk to go against me. Now, Monero, XMR here, is another interesting one, because this one can be really consistent. And here, again, strong downward momentum. We've hit little spurts of it, and then it comes back down. You can see here in the negative minute bars, and then it drives back up. And somewhere in there, it gets dumps a trade and creates a profit, but not a big load of profit. But as I said, it's very hard to actually make consistent wider profit when you're only trading. Just get the latest data here. But here, I mean, these are your hourly moves. That's like forex level, it's very hard to make actual profit in these kind of trading conditions. So Neo is an interesting one. This one, if you ask me, I would claim this one shows pattern of manipulation. I can't say, but there just seems to be, when you look at the charts, like here, you have all these consistent numbers of positive momentum. 2.17, 2.16, 2.16, 2.16. Then we got 1.15, 1.15, 1.15. It's these sort of things that make you wonder if this is some form of manipulation. I can't say. But there are little snapshots that you can take advantage of to get you a nice little profit, not a lot. But, you know, that is not awesome at all, but it's something. And that's pretty well it so far. I just wanted to show you the win ratio is pretty good, but being able to maintain, that's another question. Being able to adjust and maybe increase the amount of trades to be put on, or positions put on, but that means I have to allow further pairs of the same name. The only reason I keep it this way is to identify those patterns, but in this environment, you're not going to make a lot of money, but you'll make a little bit. And hey, it looks good when you get those winning ratios, no doubt on that. But again, it comes back to if you can maintain a 1% move every day, and in our case, if I was just to show this, all you need to do really is, okay, so this doesn't count. This move right here at 0.38. If you get, all you get is 3 of those that stays positive or profitable and nets out at 1%, you're doing okay. So that's the goal. But on the flip side, this is the tough market. Imagine when we get, and I've seen it numerous times, when we get coins moving at, at these levels on the 24-hour, but we translate the 24-hour moves into hourly, and they do exist. A good example is Maker, but I don't think Binance carries Maker. That one has done okay. And then there's the odd one like Waves, which is a hyped up one. And but I will say there seems to be some consistency with Monero, Neo somewhat, and Dash are right now, and Litecoin as well. That can do okay in terms of consistency. And I might do more of these reports later on. You'll see the same pairs come up with the occasional one, like Bitcoin Cash was moving like crazy. I learned that over $13 billion was being transacted over on Friday when I saw nothing but Bitcoin Cash, and it was doing really good. And you may get days like that where you just don't do anything and you're able to make like free money because of something happening in the crypto space. And again, we only focus on profitable, positive momentum, nothing else. There's no shorting in finance. Hopefully this will give you an idea how things look for now, and we shall continue. But so far, 75% win ratio on 4 positions. Whoop, whoop, not much, but it's there. We shall talk to you soon. Later.